face and punch in the head for real with a lot of money on the line, and he upped the stakes a little bit. I don't see why he wouldn't try to get that pro career and kind of test in the waters a couple fights, see how he does. If not, then, you know, he can move on to something else.
His job right now with our military in the 82nd Airborne, but upon getting out into the civilian ranks, maybe we'll see more and hear more from Eli as we get ready now for our next fight. Again, amateurs, lightweights this time, getting ready to step into the ring. Not a lot of experience for one guy, but he has a few things to say about the other.
Michael Maverick Chiesa, and my fighting style is wrestling.
I'm Marc Forsyth. I train in kickboxing and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
My strengths are probably my wrestling, my conditioning. I've wrestled my whole life.
Been on my hands for the last year, so I'm ready for wherever the fight goes. I'm going to try to strike with him, just feel him out a little bit, and get inside and take him down and plan on choking him out.
First round, third round, however, punch, kick, doesn't matter. A knockout.
Please welcome our fighter out of the blue corner, Marc Forsyth.
Washingtonian Marc Forsyth making his way to the ring. 3-4 as an amateur.
Good BJJ kickboxing, studies a lot. Brad Johnson kickboxing, Marcelo Alonso BJJ. Depending on how much he's picked up, you know, he's 3-4 as an amateur, which isn't a bad record as an amateur. A lot of people put on this whole stick where you have to be undefeated as an amateur to make in the pro ranks. In MMA, you don't need to be undefeated as an amateur. That's when you try stuff, make your mistakes. So 3-4 record to most people at home, you're sitting on your couches, looks a little disparaging, but he's actually had a pretty good career. Marc Forsyth is actually a lot better. He does tend to try a couple things that I wouldn't agree with, but he does do very well with them.
Gisea.
Sportfight. I can see it in your eyes. You don't want it, so I'm bringing it. Pounding on your face, many times I'm repeating it. Versatile styles got you locked, tapping out. You can feel it in a crowd when I knock a sucker out.
And now the Spokane area of Washington, Mike Chiesa getting ready for his second amateur fight.
Very nervous. I talked to him a little bit before the fight. He was actually more nervous about me sitting ringside than he was actually about his own fight. Like,
I feel that way often.
he goes, the fight's going to take care of itself no matter what happens, which is a great attitude. He goes, I'm a little more nervous than you sitting there critiquing me. I'm like, I'm not here to critique you. I'm just here to enjoy myself tonight. Don't worry about me. Go out there and worry about the guy in front of you. He's like, hey, man, it's going to be a fun time no matter what happens. And I like that about him. You know, he's just a year older. Got the reach advantage, obviously, at 5'6" for Forsyth and 6'0" with Mike, but, you know, weighing about the same. And, of course, he is such an amateur. He's almost an amateur.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. You see the 19-year-old Forsyth, the 20-year-old Chiesa, a couple of Washington guys trying to further their careers here in Oregon as we get the official introductions.
All right, fight fans, this is a matchup of the lightweight division of Sportfight. First, introducing the fighter on my left and fighting out of the blue corner. Trained as a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu artist and trained in kickboxing with Brian Johnson Kickboxing and Marcelo Alonso Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. His record even, 3 wins with 3 losses. At 5 feet 6 inches tall and 155 pounds, fighting out of Tacoma, Washington, here's Marc the Creatine Forsyth. His opponent will fight from the red side of the ring, trained in karate and wrestling. He likes to call his fighting style Sick-Jitsu. His record stands with just 1 win and no losses. At 6 feet 1 inches tall, he weighed in at fight time at 155 pounds. Please welcome, fighting out of Spokane, Washington, Mike Gisea.
Come on in. Come on in. We went over the rules earlier. Any questions from either of you? All right, let's have a good, clean fight. Obey my commands at all times. Touch gloves and let's do this.
You see the height disparity there. You know, 6 foot versus 5'6". That's a huge difference. Great length, great reach.
Let's fight.
Here they go. We'll see if Kessa takes advantage of that early on, the southpaw stance. Of the taller man in the black and white is shooting in his Forsyth. And gets the takedown.
Good scramble ability. Good job. Keep his hips moving.
Kessa moving quickly. He's back on his feet. Now he's controlling the action. Remember, these are 3 3-minute rounds, what it's scheduled for. Amateurs fighting.
No elbows to the head, but anywhere else to get into the body, and no twisting knee locks, heel hooks, which is good for the amateurs. You want to ruin their knees, this early.
It's like having those young ball players, those baseball players throw curveballs, isn't it? No one's going to throw too many curveballs early on in their career, hurt the elbow.
Exactly. I tell all, most of the guys, oh, good, slide into a nice armbar.
Well, he's working on it early. When Forsyth finishes this off, Kessa has to roll around, trying to get out of it. He's tugging hard, but not enough. Forsyth finishes it off here in the first.
Good job. He battled it, used his body weight, got into it. And what happened is that you have to know your opponent. Know that you're 6 foot. Know that your guy you're fighting is 5'6". Use that length. There's no reason to go for a takedown early and put him on the ground. Try and keep him out. Try and keep him away. Pepper him a little bit. You don't have to knock him down, but make him work to get inside your body, get inside to do a guard. Great back foot too, by the way. But guys, I don't see guys using their length enough. I'm such a short guy for everything that I do. I got to step in hard and tight to get that away. Take a look there at that the armbar again. And Mike just stepped in it too quick, I think. In my opinion, I would have tried to keep him on my feet a little bit longer and use my length.
Yeah, he was able to roll out a couple early on. Maybe got a little overconfident there, but Forsyth locked it in.
Man, he's got a great position. Forsyth is tight, small, compact. Got it in really, really deep. Good for him. And that was a great, nice classic armbar.
Forsyth now has won 2 of his last 3. The 20-year-old, Spanaway, Washington. And we'll get the official time of that first round armbar victory to wrap up our amateur segment of the night. As you're watching Sportfight 23 live here on HDNET Fights.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, once again, it was a submission and tap out that brings this fight to an end. 1 minute and 7 seconds into that opening round by way of an armbar. Your winner, Marc Forsyth.
So Forsyth evens his record to 4-4. He's 19 years old. I said he was 20. He's 19. He was the younger fighter here. So, as you mentioned earlier, Frank, a promising future perhaps for this kid.
Yeah, and I also say too, a lot of these guys, go ahead and try to get 20 amateur fights out before you make that pro jump. Just see how you're doing, see how you can get the training schedule worked out, because when you do start as a pro, you will be sitting around still with your full-time job, trying to take care of your wife and kids, trying to make a living, because you don't jump automatically into the millions. You jump into the hundreds. So you have to make that step and see how it works. But it's always nice to get paid being a pro MMA fighter.
Anytime you come to this Portland, Oregon area, of course, it's